not come for me. Literally an arrow straight to the heart. The chicken arms are out. The chicken arms are out. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you are all well. It is currently March. And I haven't done a wrap up yet this year, so I'm coming at you with a new video for January and February's wrap up, and I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it. I've read a few books, so I'm ready to share them with you guys. So these are going to be some hits, some misses, and also some recommendations. Please like, comment, share and subscribe, and let me know what you're reading as well. I really love to know what you're reading currently. I started the year off very strong. If you've watched my previous videos, then you would know that I did a reading vlog for 1,000 Boy Kisses. So I started the year off with a bang. Like 2020 started off great. If you haven't seen my 1,000 Boy Kisses reading vlog, I would definitely recommend that you check that out. So I have it linked in the description below or somewhere on the video. So this book holds a very special place in my heart. To this day, I cannot get over it. I cannot believe it. Their story continues to touch me. Literally, my heart hurts every time I think about it. I cannot wait for the day where I sort of forget the details and I can reread it, because I'm sure I'll be as shocked, as emotional, as devastated as I was the first time reading it. So if you haven't picked that one up, I definitely recommend picking that one up. I rated it a 5 out of 5 stars. 10 out of 10, honestly, just so good. At times it was a touch cheesy, but do you know what? I liked it. I accepted it for what it was, and the fact that, you know, what was happening, I accepted the cheese. I want all of the cheese. Give me cheese and more. Like, it was just so romantic, so lovely, written super well, just literally an arrow straight to the heart. Honestly, out of this world. Honestly, out of this world. If you're gonna pick up anything from this video, I would definitely recommend 1,000 Boy Kisses. Hand on heart, it's amazing. I did also leave a review on Goodreads as well. I think Tilly Cole did a fantastic job. Let's have a look at my review actually as well. Every time I even look at the cover, it's just, before obviously when I didn't read it, it didn't mean anything to me. You know, it didn't correlate, it didn't, you know, connect the dots. You know, the dots weren't connecting. But now there's a whole different meaning to the cover, and it just, yeah, hurts my heart. So on Goodreads, this is what I said. This is spoiler free, by the way. OMG. Okay, this book emotionally wrecked me. Such a tragic love story. Their love was so deep and powerful that it just ripped my heart out. I would definitely recommend everyone read this. Obviously, just to be cautious. Right now, times are hard in our world, and this book is very depressing, sad, and so good. 110%. I still agree with that review. It's like, I don't know how Tilly Cole does it, right? The love that they have for each other, it's like none that I have ever read before. It's just so like deep and like enriched in their bodies, you know, like freaking out. They were fated to be together. They started liking each other very young, you know, like I think they were in like kindergarten or something, like 5 years old, when, you know, they were always together. Okay, so let me tell you what it's about. It says here, I'll just read a bit of the synopsis. One kiss lasts a moment, but 1,000 kisses can last a lifetime. One boy, one girl, a bond that is forged in an instant and cherished for a decade. A bond that neither time nor distance can break. A bond that will last forever, or so they believe. I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you, like, what the story is about, because the story is a spoiler. If I tell you, right, what just go read it, please. Just go read it. Just go read it, because you do not want to miss out on their story. Hand on heart. Okay, next one. We started off so strong in the year, right? And then we started falling off a little bit. So I also read The Guest List by Lucy Foley, and I rated this a 2 out of 5 stars. To be honest, I love thrillers and I read thrillers quite often. With the book club that I have, we read thrillers and romances mostly, but I think this is one thriller that I wish I didn't read, to be honest. I felt like for me it was a waste of time. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I also think it's because my expectations were very, very high. I know that a lot of booktubers loved this book and gave it 5 out of 5 stars. You know, Goodreads gave it Thriller of the Year, which, you know, each to their own, but I completely disagree. I'm not being funny. I thought it was a bunch of waffle. I listened to it on Audible and I thought it was really, really good on Audible because you got different voices and you got different perspectives as well on the book. I really like the way that Lucy Foley chose to present those characters to us, because obviously if there's a lot of characters in a story, it can get quite confusing and, you know, you can mix people up and stuff, but it was very distinctive in this book because she had certain things with the person. So if it was like Jono, it would be the best man, you know, so that everyone had like a title with them. So I thought that made it really, really clear. But I think because of my expectations, this book just wasn't it for me. I'm not gonna lie, all the action happened in like the last 2 hours of the audiobook, and the audiobook was like 9 hours long. But even then I wasn't satisfied because I had already, you know, by that time read through a lot of it, so I wasn't satisfied. Let me know what you thought. I don't know if I'm the only one who didn't like it, but everyone else at my book club seemed to agree. We gave it an average of a 2 out of 5. Yeah, we didn't click with this one. We didn't like it. It is about a wedding that happens on an island, and basically guests gather to celebrate 2 people joining their lives together as one. And long story short, someone ends up dead basically. So the bride, the +1, the best man, the wedding planner, the bridesmaid, the body. Okay? Take from that what you will. Read it, don't read it. Just let me know what you thought. But you know, there are other thrillers out there that I think should have won the award, but you know what, it is what it is. It's got an average of 3.87 on Goodreads, so some people like it, some people don't, I guess. So that was The Guest List by Lucy Foley. And then, okay, do not come for me. Do not come for me. You know, I love a good taboo, a bit risque, a bit, you know, do not enter, you know what I mean, like that kind of trope. I love that. I can read taboo books, okay? I've read Forbidden, I've read Love Unexpected by QB Tyler. I've done taboo, okay? But this, you can hear like the shaking in my voice. This right here was on another level where I actually DNF'd this book. It is K. Webster's The World, okay? Don't listen, I had to stop. I was only on chapter 4, and I had to be like, nope, I can't do this. I don't know if my mind just wasn't in the right space at the time. Obviously we're still in a lockdown in the UK. I think maybe my mind just couldn't handle such heavy content at that time. But that's not to say that I won't pick it up later on and actually finish it. At this time, it just wasn't for me. For The Wild, there is a trigger warning, so I definitely recommend that you read that before you get into the book. But it's basically about a family, a dad, a mom and their daughter. They moved to the wilderness because they couldn't cope with reality. Something happens, something tragic happens and they can't cope with it, so then they move to the wilderness. Basically, long story short, right, it says right here, all you can do is survive where love, no matter how beastly, is the only thing you can truly count on. Confusing, wrong, twisted, beautiful, sick. Love is wild and we're going to set it free. Okay, honey. This book is wild. If I couldn't get through it, I don't know how I'm gonna like get through it later on, but I am gonna get back to it. There's too many people who say this is one of their favorites for me not to get back to it, so I definitely will, and I'll let you guys know how I get on with that one. So then after that, obviously me being me, I got into a reading slump. And I was like not motivated to read. I was watching a lot of TV, just didn't want to pick up a book and read. So then I was like, do you know what? I got a Kindle for my birthday. I was like, let me crack that out. Let me just bring it out and get Kindle Unlimited and see what happens, you know? So I got Kindle Unlimited. Honey, I went wild, okay? This is also another favorite of mine that I read. This is by a new to me author, which I love her and her writing. I'm definitely going to be reading more of her work in the future, more of her books. This is Ruthless Creatures, J.T. Gizinga, maybe? I'm not sure. J.T. Okay? I'll have it up on the screen as well. This book, oh my god! Cage though, Cage! Can someone just go and find me a Cage? I'm not a Cage. I mean, his name is Cage. I just need this man in my life. I'm not being funny. He's just 10 out of 10. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was amazing. It was exactly what I needed. It isn't too long. I think it was about 300 and something pages. It was saucy. It was steamy. It was fast paced. It was, the banter was there. Like, oh my god. The best friend and the main character, she literally is like so funny. They get on so well, and like their banter and the way that they click and the way that they go back and forth is like best friend goals. I actually did leave a Goodreads review for this one, so what I wrote is 5 delicious stars. I absolutely loved this book. It was steamy and had laugh out loud moments. The chemistry between the H and the H was astronomical, okay? It was banter filled, and I loved her relationship with her best friend. Not a dull moment at all. I finished this so quickly. I'm ready for the second book. Do I have to say more? I am so here for the second book. I can't wait until she releases the next book. The series is called Queens and Monsters, so I loved it, and I do have to let you know, if I tell you this, is that a spoiler? Hold on, let me check the synopsis. Even the synopsis is juicy, it's drama filled, it's got tea, like, it's not boring, you know? An explosive new novel of love, lies and obsession from best-selling author J.T. Gizinga. 5 years ago, why am I doing all of this? Okay, stop. 5 years ago, my fiance disappeared. He left me with a wedding dress I'd never wear. Left me with the kind of scars that can't be healed. The man I built my future on vanished like a ghost. All that remained were my broken heart and unanswered questions. Until tall, dark and dangerous, Cage is as full of secrets as he is sex appeal. Though I know he's hiding something, I'm drawn to him like a moth to a flame. The intensity of our connection is addictive, unlike anything I've ever felt before. He cackles between us with every look. Desire flares into passion and I fall hard, unable to resist. But when I discover how he's tied to the darkness in my past, I learn what happens when you fly recklessly into fire. You get burned. Say no more. Oh my god. Honestly, so good. It's got an average of 4.33 on Goodreads. I definitely recommend it. Do you know what, yeah? The intensity between them, like the chemistry between them is just out of this world. As I said, astronomical, you know? And it's not just like your typical romance. It's kind of like a hate to love, but not so severe, you know? Not like hate. It's more of like, oh, you know, like more like pride, or like more like, I want you, but I'm not gonna get you. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want you, but I'm gonna pretend that I don't. Like, you know, you know, like that kind of thing going on. Which I loved. Like, I love a good feisty moment, you know. I'm here for it. I'm all here for it. Oh, there's just so many scenes. There's so many scenes. If you've read this book, oh my gosh, please message me either on the comments here, but keep it spoiler free on the comments, or if you want to DM me on Instagram privately, please do, and send in some spoilers as well, because I needed to talk to someone about this book. Literally, it's just so amazing. I'm definitely going to be reading more of JT. Do you know what happened? And then from then on, I was just like in this whole mood of like just wanting to read bad boys. Like, am I okay? Or just like wanting to read like sick, twisted, you know what I mean? Like sick, twisted men who like have a fucked up past or like something, you know what I mean? Like I just wanted to, I'll tell you what it is. I've psychoanalyzed myself, okay? I wanted to read emotionally unavailable men. So I read them, okay? And since I had Kindle Unlimited, there was a lot on there. Some of them were questionable, some of them I do recommend. These were actually new to me authors as well. I've never read anything by them. The first one that I picked up, this wasn't actually a KU book, but it's called Totally Captivated and it's part of the Made to the Mafia series. And I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. You know, like, you know what? I like to rate a book straight after I finished it. Because then I feel like I am true to my rating in terms of like what it made me feel in that moment, how I reacted to the information that I gathered, and just my overall enjoyment of it is truest when I've just put it down, because then I'm like, oh, was I disappointed, or ooh, like, you know what I mean? I can gauge what I feel then, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, and I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. I thought I would have given it a 3, but clearly I loved it a lot. I don't really see a lot of people rave about this series or heard much about this author, to be honest. Her name is Juanita Prox. I hope I said that right. But it's basically, oh, I wrote a review. Okay, let's have a read. See, this is why I love doing reviews, because it's like you can look back on it. Okay, so I said, I really enjoyed this book. It was free. Oh, I got it on free. Guys, if it's free right now, have a search for it and go get yourself this book. Trust me. I really enjoyed this book. It was free on Amazon and a good intro to the rest of the series. It was very funny. Some of the things that happened, I had secondhand embarrassment for the main character. LOL. Okay, that didn't really give me much to go on, but I loved it. This was very different to what I usually see in mafia books. She had like a very sharp tongue, and she was very like witty and like out there in terms of what I've seen from female characters in mafia books. So that was a fresh of breath air. Breath air? Breath of fresh air. Like, I really liked seeing that, and I thought that that duo as well sort of gave it more character and more you know, more spaz, is that a word? More spice, you know, it gave it more of like a thing. Yeah, so this one wasn't as steamy as the other ones, but it was still good. I really liked the storyline. This is all in the synopsis, by the way. She's basically given as collateral damage for her father owing debt to like the mafia guy and Giovanni. So then her father and her sister completely abandon her and give her up to this mafia don. Like, what the hell? Like, do you know what I mean? When it comes time for her to leave, she isn't sure if she can make it out alive, especially when somewhere along the way she realizes her heart is totally captivated. Oh my gosh, if only I had read this synopsis, yeah, it would have saved me a lot of like, oh my god, are you serious? Are you serious? Because I finished this book and I was like, what? I need the second book right now, right now. And obviously the author needs to get her check, you know, so she can't put all the series up for free. The first book was up for free when I checked, and then she ended it. It says here it may or may not end in a cliffhanger, okay? So just take that knowledge, do what you want with it. But I was like, oh my god, I need the second book right now. So I bought the second book. So far, the second book is okay as well, but I'll give you guys an update once I've finished it. With this one, the Totally Captivated book, I think it was a great introduction to this author. If you're looking for a mafia story, but for it to be a bit different, like a more of a light-hearted romantic comedy, then I definitely suggest this one. I also do want to add that basically I went in a downward spiral into novellas, so this one was only 156 pages as well, so you could definitely knock that out of the park. It's literally a one-time sit and read. So then I read Sugar Princess by Nicolina Martin, and this was also a new to me author. It was a very short novella, 78 pages only. It's basically a fictional book about the Russian mafia, and I thought, you know, since I had finished the first book of the Made to the Mafia series, I was like, do you know what, let me just go for another mafia book. but I didn't enjoy this one as much as I did Totally Captivated. This one I gave a 2 out of 5 stars. It's got a beautiful cover. Basically, this girl has a store, okay? These bad people come to her shop and basically try to collect protection money for her to keep her store running, kind of thing, right? No, I can't do it, guys. Please go on Goodreads and read this yourself because it's so awkward. All I'm gonna say is I definitely did not enjoy it. My review is this. This was not it for me. Although there were parts in the book that I liked, it was super cringy. The amount of times daddy is mentioned as well, it's literally every other line. I'm like, give me a break. No, this one was not it. Let's see what other people have said. Oh my gosh, I'm gushing how cute this story was. I freaking loved it. Okay. Sugar Princess is naughty little novella featuring a Russian gangster who's all about dishing out punishments and rewards to little bookstore owner Carrie Ella Brock. I'm not being funny, all these are positive. 4.12 average rating, but only 26 people have rated. So not a lot of people have read this book. I think that's why the rating is so high. To be honest, I wouldn't read this again, so I'd say skip it. But I'm definitely open to trying out more from the author. I think, yeah, I just didn't connect with the story. This one was a very short audiobook, okay? And this was Set, a novella Them Boys series. Okay, so this is book 1. Whenever I say that, I think, holla, holla, we them boys. Holla, 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 we making noise. You know that song? Is Them Boys series, you know? Yeah, so I was just listening to it. I enjoyed it. It was good. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Me and Tina actually read it together. We buddy read it. We were both cracking up. It's not funny, but it was the audio person, the audio actors that were making it really funny. It's like the accent and the swag that they had and like certain things that they would say, it was like cracking us up because we're not used to that. So it was very a fun experience actually. So this is about a chance encounter and a one night of passion leads to a mutually beneficial arrangement for 2 souls from different worlds. When love creeps into the equation, neither is sure how to feel or what to do. The only thing either is certain of is their need for the other. Gave this one a review as well. I said I enjoyed this. A very quick read, only like 2 hours and a bit on audio. Interesting and engaging storyline, steamy as hell. I definitely stick to that. We read Ho 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 by Rosie Adams, a very short, spicy novella as well. It is only 55 pages, so got through it really quickly. I don't know why we're reading Christmas books right now, but it is what it is, you know? It doesn't matter. I gave it 4 stars and it's basically about this girl who was married but her husband cheats on her and basically he's an asshole basically. He's a shitbag, like doesn't treat her well, basically he's a douche. And she gets a divorce from her husband and then, you know, she goes out and lives her life and does her, you know, hot girl summer shit basically. She's out there doing her bit. And the funniest thing is, in the synopsis it says here, forget chestnuts. You know that song? Forget chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Eggnog and the mistletoes this Christmas. Mila Gordon is going ho ho ho. That is literally so amazing. This is a very much like laugh out loud kind of funny book. And it's spicy, sexy, and just like, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Okay, so then I read You Don't Own Me. This is a new to me author too, wow. Georgia LeCare, I think that's how you'd say her name. Carey. It basically follows the story of Dahlia and Zane. And basically, Dahlia has to fill in for her friend who is a masseuse. Her friend basically asks her to massage this mafia don, this very dangerous man, okay? And she obviously agrees and says she's gonna help her. Reluctantly, not really like 100% happy with it, but still helps out. So then she goes to this massage place and he's right there and all of this. And it's kind of like they have a, how do I explain it? They have a interaction. They basically have a moment, okay, where it's like she basically ends up running from the room because he tried to advance on her basically. She's like, I am never coming back here. He's like, yeah, you'll be back, you'll be back. She's like, no, I won't. You know, like, I'm a strong woman, like, I am not gonna be back, kind of thing. Tragedy happens where her sister goes missing. This is all in the synopsis, guys, it's not a spoiler. But her sister goes missing and then who does she go to? She goes to the Mafia Don guy. She goes to Zayn to try and find her sister because she's like, you know what, whatever goes down in the underworld, you know, you'll know about it. So help me out, you know. And he's like, well, I don't do these things without a price. And she's like, ugh. And that is how everything comes about. It's kind of like forced proximity, hate to love. So there's a line on here that I think sums up Zayn so well. It's, but I'm not a man given to doing favors, right? She's asked about helping find her sister. He's like, I'm an opportunist. There's always a price for my help. Okay, that's a little bit of what like Zayn is like. I really enjoyed this one. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. You know what, I could actually bump that up to 4.5. It was really good. I picked up the second book as well because it ended on like a madness, so I had to find out what's gonna happen next. I'm really excited to carry on with the series as well. These past 2 months I really actually enjoyed reading new to me authors. If you've got any favorite authors that haven't really been raved about that much, I'd love to know. Let me know down in the comments who your favorite authors are. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you read any of these. I'd be super interested to know what your thoughts are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.